What is up, Hawk fans? We are back for another episode of the Hawkaholics podcast. I'm your host, Brad, and I am joined by the Halloween man himself, Brandon, over there with no power, no
What's
internet.
up, fellas?
Sir, how you doing?
Not good. This sucks because I literally I'm pacing around my room talking to you guys. It's not supposed to come back on until 9:30.
What? Small town Iowa life, man. I don't miss that.
Oh yeah.
You told me you were losing power, and so I went and looked, and I'm like, holy shit, man, that is a big ass storm for almost November, man. That looked like springtime stuff you guys usually get.
There was some severe thunderstorm watches down South Iowa, and then I think we didn't get any severe weather ourselves, but I know we had wind pickup, and it sounded like small bits of hail. So,
damn, man. Well, hope the rest of you guys out there are doing okay and have power, unlike Brandon here. But guess what? Show goes on.
That's
Tim
right.
Says it didn't even flicker, my friend. Show's got to go on. Well, we have our guests waiting right now. Sorry for the delay again, everybody. So we're going to jump right into last week. And we're going to talk about the game, dude. We finally.
Hey, I want you to talk about this because this is your baby right here. I want you to blaze it,
baby. That was my prediction. I don't know. Well, what were your thoughts, first of all, on the quarterback change? I know we've been talking about
it needed to happen. And I know you and I have been back and forth, but I've never once said don't start Sullivan. I've always wanted McNamara to succeed, but
right.
He has shown that he can't get the job done, and it showed. So he had, what was it, that pick? So get this, just remember. So the one pick that got took back, apparently he threw the ball, and this was before he got hit. So there was no excuse, and it just flickered. If you watch that interception, the ball just spins. Round and round and round. Instead of just like a spiral, it was a spin.
Well,
and it went right to the dude.
That's what happens when you don't use the laces to throw. I mean, convenient, huh?
Hey, you know,
what?
You should, tomorrow I should have my son pick up a football and throw it to me, and I'll see if he holds the laces or not.
That's still just the wildest thing.
Right?
To me. Yeah, man, we got the change, and to me, it sparked us, man. It really did. I mean, look at these runs.
It did.
So when he came in, it was 7-3.
Beautiful.
And it changes the whole complexion of the game, as we talked about for many weeks, because it stretches that defense. Instead of them thinking, "Oh, it's Caleb Johnson," it's
right.
He'll do this.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. So when they were in the end zone for that safety, I actually thought the refs were gonna say that he was over the end zone line. I'm not even kidding you. I thought we were gonna get screwed on that one.
Dude, I just want you to see this. This is another reason I like this kid. Show me a quarterback that does this. Now he's gonna be Bobby Boucher leading the blocks. And he put the dude on his ass.
Oh man.
That's a quarterback.
That was awesome.
Dude. Not only
did and then
next play, boom. He's an athlete, man. He changes the complexity of that game. He stretches that field. He makes the defense choose a different way to approach Iowa. For the last, 4 years, it was load the box on Iowa. They can't throw or do anything, and their quarterbacks can't move. It's a whole different ballgame. And then Wetchen, he finally broke one, dude. Look at this. Whoop.
Can I ask you, did he step out of bounds? There was a replay that zoomed in and it looked like a little bit of his left foot was touching the white line, but I'm just thankful that he finally got one. I know I said something to his mom on Monday. I was like, about damn time.
He's been so close, dude, but you called it, man.
I know.
And then Caleb Johnson, of course, had a Caleb Johnson day.
What was it? Long Black Johnson? Long Black Johnson had a Long Black Johnson day.
That jersey swap was a good one, man. I don't know We'll have to ask the guys when they get on with us if they saw that shit or not. But that shit made my week, man. I'm like, this is what
I'm
we're
sure
doing.
I'm sure they did. They found it was all over, dude. Like all the sites and everything. I think it went viral.
I mean, the best part of that is it shows you how loose the locker room is, to be honest with you. That's not something we see out of Iowa very often. And that could go one of two ways.
No.
It could be really good for us, or it could be really bad for us. We don't know. Iowa usually is not doing those type of things in the locker room.
Right.
This is the thing that bugs me. This is the one breakdown in special teams. I mean, the defense didn't give up a single touchdown last week. It was a pick six, an 85-yard pick six, and then this punt return was – that guy doesn't look like he should have been returning the punt in the first place, and yet somehow he still was able to get to the end zone. So other than that, man, the defense, phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Can I be that guy? Can I be that guy and say that it was just Northwestern? I had to, man. I'm sorry. I'm saying that because of Michigan State.
I don't want to talk about Michigan State, man. That was the ugliest game.
I know, but I'm just saying this is the real test this weekend. This is a big game this weekend,
man. And preseason, I circled this as a loss. So
I know.
You were like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, now I'm gonna have to figure out if I want to hold true with my 9-3 record or take it to 8-5 or not. We'll see. But yeah, that was a good win, man. I'm glad we got the quarterback change. The offense looked different. The dynamic of that team looked different. The camaraderie, the post game looked different. I don't know if you saw Lester embracing Sullivan after the game, but that looked like an offensive coordinator finding his quarterback finally, and it was very.
Did you see who
rewarding.
else came out on the field at the end of the game?
Oh, Fitz.
Yeah.
Gave Sullivan a hug. So, yeah, we got ourselves. This is gonna be a good game, man. Especially because let's not waste any time. Let me make sure first of all I have enough cameras for everybody. We're gonna bring in the boys from the Wisco Fanatics. Please welcome Jake, Tyler, and can we fit Mike? Yeah.
Good. What's up, Mikey? How we doing?
We're doing it, man.
Good. We're doing it. How are you, gentlemen, tonight?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
You guys have lights, so you're doing better than Brandon, so that's good.
Well, we live in Wisconsin, so we're doing better than him twice now.
Oh, he's the lone Iowa guy now.
Sorry, Brandon.
Well, sweet, guys. Well, thanks for jumping in with us. I know Brandon was on, and I was unable to make it, unfortunately. I wish I could have. Yeah, man. It's a game. I'd have you guys on, talk some Wisconsin, Iowa. If you got one of you guys want to take a moment, introduce yourselves. At least each of you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the Wisco Fanatics.
Now you're the host. You start out, my guy.
Yeah. All right. So we are Wisco Fanatics. We are obviously a Wisconsin sports themed show / podcast. We do all of our shows with live video so we can interact with comments and stuff. So we do that. But we cover Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and then Badgers, basketball, and football. So we're doing the crossover episode with the Iowa guys today. We've taken our approach to a more optimistic and realistic standpoint instead of all of the knee-jerk reaction, clickbaity bullshit that you get everywhere, all over sports media. And we've taken it a step further even to also be able to focus on not only on our own, but to help the mental health of other sports fans, the people that are in our fan bases, and now extending even to Iowa fans. So that's us. I'm obviously Tyler, the host, and then we have Jake, and then Mike joins us for our Badgers basketball and football shows.
Mikey, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Oh, yeah. So I'm Mike. Basically, what Tyler said. I'm basically along for the ride for any Badgers talk with football and basketball with these guys. Very fortunate that they brought me on to this. I always like to say, I know this is all, you guys are Packers fans too, but deep down, if I could choose between a national championship in football or basketball or a Super Bowl right now, I would still choose a national championship. It's like this. So as soon as I got to college, that's when I really got hooked
into college sports. Once I went to my first game at Camp Randall, I just absolutely fell in love with it. And then basketball, I had a background in that too. So probably since I was a freshman in college is when I started to get into the Badgers talk. And then as the years went on, I started paying attention to recruiting as well. And then, I talked to Jake, quite a bit just about Badger sports in general. Then him and Tyler, they started this podcast up, and they just invited me to come on and talk some Badgers, and year 2 or 3 with them on this thing. So we're
Nice.
doing pretty well.
2.5.
Yeah, so I'm Jake. I'm normally just the comic relief. Don't let Tyler or Mike undersell themselves. They are both very smart individuals. Mike knows a ton about Badgers, basketball and football that I don't even know, and I pay attention to it quite a bit. Tyler's just all around smart. He knows a lot of stuff. He's very good in baseball, much better than me. I would say we're on the same level in football and basketball, but Tyler is a very smart individual, very professional. I'm just the guy that makes the jokes. And I can't even say I'm a pretty face. So Tyler's the pretty face and the smart one. I'm just the funny guy.
Hey, you got a nice beard, man. You look good.
Hey, thank you, man. My girlfriend likes it too.
I needed to hear that.
That's all that matters.
Well, that's awesome, boys. Glad to have you. You guys sound a lot like us, so this is going to be a fun show.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Wisconsin, you guys have been playing well as of late, other than the little hiccup last week against some good, stiff competition. You guys have turned it around big time from the beginning of the year, like big time. When I think last week we talked about you guys in your previous 3 games holding opponents to 13 combined points in those 3 games. That's impressive stuff, guys. What's been the turnaround, do you guys think, when it comes to beginning of the season to where you guys are at right now?
I would say complementary football. Like you look at, obviously, Purdue, playing Purdue helps. And, you get it was just Purdue, even though the Badgers won 52-6, which is pretty convincing.
Ooh.
Then they go and play
Beautiful.
Rutgers, which by all accounts was a pretty evenly matched game. You look at all of the stats going into that game, and we did, and you see how many things are actually really similar between Wisconsin and Rutgers going into that game. Offensively, defensively, points, like third downs, red zone, like all of these things were very, very similar. And going into that game, Rutgers was favored by 2.5 points, which is what you get from Vegas for being the home team. So even Vegas was viewing that as a pretty even game, and Wisconsin went in there and won that game 42-7. And then they followed that up with a 23-3 victory over Northwestern and outscored their opponents 117-16 in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's
For offense and defense. It was both sides of the ball.
just and that is why preseason I said Wisconsin was going to beat us, because they're very similar to Iowa. I mean, Brandon and I talk about it. Very similar programs, built very similarly, and you guys just always have our edge, man. And this is something that I can't get the monkey off of the Iowa backs, man, when it comes to Wisconsin. But yeah, very impressive stuff, man. And I'm a person, honestly, I don't really care who you face during the football. Well, hey!
It's my shower light.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Right.
Sorry.
It's all good, man.
You're just standing in your shower hurting. All right, this is going to be a good show.
Hell yeah.
Keep those damn clothes on, man. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Oh, all right. Were you able to catch any of that while you were showering? Or are you off the speed?
Yeah. I have a question. I had a question for you fellas that I was going to ask you on your show. So is Wisconsin where you guys predicted at the beginning of the season? Like, are they up to your expectations, or are they you think they could be better? Or?
I'll go real quick. So I think at this point, record-wise, it's about the same.
Okay.
I would say, however, there were definitely opportunities in these losses that we've had, specifically USC and even Penn State, where we just shot ourselves in the foot when we easily had, countless opportunities to get it done. But, that's, hearsay or whatnot. But execution has been, I guess, kind of an issue with this. We saw it last week with multiple drops that we had against Penn State that I think would have extended drives and would have at least gave us an opportunity to win later on in the fourth quarter. But I would say, kind of what Tyler said before, we're starting to do a better job of playing complementary football. Just for example, on the offensive side, last season, in the first year in the Phil Longo system, we averaged barely over 20 points, and now. And when we were talking about this 3-game winning streak that we had, we're starting to see glimpses of times where we can score 40, hell, even 50 points now. So slowly but surely, we're getting to where we want to be. I feel like it's still a little slower than what a lot of fans. I know for a fact there's a fan base that absolutely love the old regime, with the Paul Chris, Jimmy Leonard.
Yeah.
We have those fans right now that are like, don't even care, that some that deep down, I think, want Luke Fickell's like coaching staff not want to be successful because their guy's not there. And you got the more optimistic guys, and that's why we're here in the first place. But yeah, I think slowly but surely we are getting better. Record wise, it is about the same. Just how we did lose some of these games is a little disappointing because we had opportunities. But record wise, I would say we're right on par for the most part.
So I'll say this. In terms of the record, yeah, probably. I believe we all predicted 8-4, 9-3, around there, 7-5, maybe being a little bit more realistic. But when you break it down, football's so complex. There's so many different areas that you can look at. I think the defensive line has been better than people expected. I think the offensive line is getting back to where we want it to. The running game is getting back to where we want it to. Quarterback, I don't really think it's fair to evaluate quarterback, although getting to evaluate Braden Locke for a second straight year really is kind of a blessing in disguise for these guys, because then they can really go out into the era of the NIL, and they could be like, listen, hey, we got to pony up. We need a quarterback. It's not going to work unless we have a quarterback. This may be a blessing in disguise for Wisconsin. DBs, we all knew they were going to be good. Linebackers, they spent a little bit of money in NIL this year, and some of those young guys are turning out pretty good. Christian Allegro has been very good. Tekket Curtis, that might be Mike's favorite player of the team right now. Actually,
he's the next guy in line, I would say.
I was going to say I lied. It's definitely Hunter Wohler. But, I mean, if you look at it area by area, I think the Badgers are actually a little bit better than I expected them to be completely honest with you.
With opportunities to be even better. I mean, we were talking about it going into the Alabama game, how, like, I know I was saying this specifically, that I liked what I was seeing from Tyler Van Dyke in a lot of the RPO situations. He was making good decisions. He was starting to make some really good throws. And then he tears his ACL. So we have a second straight season where they're trying to completely overhaul the offense and do different things offensively. In both years, your starting quarterback goes out in the first handful of games in the season. So it's really hard when there's no consistency at the most, important position in any sport, which is quarterback. So it's a little bit tough to get that evaluation without having the guy that you were planning on having in there. But we've seen some flashes from Braden Locke. Like Mike kind of mentioned with execution, we've had a couple concerns about decision making with Braden Locke. He's got a turnover in every game so far this season that he's played, which isn't ideal. So hopefully that's the streak that the Badgers can break this week.
Yeah, I totally understand that quarterback thing. We're kind of dealing with the same thing, to be honest with you. New offensive coordinator trying to run an RPO style offense with a pro style quarterback has not been in our favor. We've just been blessed to have Caleb Johnson in a really good, much improved offensive line from the last couple of years, which have really helped us tremendously, obviously. Yeah. And then Caleb Johnson's just like, he's like the running back you build on NCAA football. That's Caleb Johnson, 6'1", I think he is, 200 and almost 30 pounds that can run. Like that's the guy I built back in the day, man. Like, but yeah, I mean,
that'll do.
We're similar. I mean, for me to hold true with my predictions, we have to win out. So when we make picks,
that's
man,
true.
I'm gonna have to decide. Brandon's is already shot. He said 10-2.
I'm done. Yeah.
We have a better chance to win with Sullivan. Am I wrong? No.
Nope.
Mark, 100%. We've been saying that since August, 7th? 8th? Well, I have. I think I've
I
been the
told
only
him.
one.
I just want to see him pass this weekend, man. I told the boys earlier, I just want to see Sully pass.
Bad week to pick that. That's the strongest part of our team, buddy.
Yeah.
Good news is you don't have much film on him.
Throw it number 2. Just
Yeah.
just try it out. See what happens.
All right. You guys must throw at number 27, and we'll see what
He
happens.
probably will, to be completely honest with you.
He's due for one.
That sounds like you guys were saying that, and my eyes lit up. I don't know if you saw me because I'm like, I mean, you guys are familiar with Iowa's defense. They try to trick you into throwing these shitty balls and these stupid plays because they leave it open on purpose to you. And so
Bro,
my eyes
Penn
lit up
State-
when you said that.
Penn State literally played cover one robber, and he threw it to the Penn State player. I mean, you don't really have to trick Braden Locke. I'm just going to call it like it is.
Oh, man, dude. I don't know, man. Yeah, well, Mark's been there firsthand. Well, sweet. I know you touched on the quarterback a little bit. Was he from a transfer, or is he straight up? What was he before?
He was a transfer from Mississippi State. Came from a powerhouse program in Rockwall, Texas, like the highest division you can come from. So he should be used to pressure all the freaking time with Texas high school football. We know all that is. If you've ever seen Friday Night Lights, you kind of get that idea. But no, he came from Mississippi State. The story was Longo recruited him when he was a high school kid there. But he ended up, and he had an offer from North Carolina, but he decided to go to Mississippi State first. Then, unfortunately, Coach Mike Leach passed away, and then he entered the portal. And when Coach Longo went to Wisconsin, he brought him with, so to speak.
Very nice. First year with you guys, then? Second year.
Second.
That's what I thought you guys said. Well, cool. Brendan, you got any questions you want to ask the boys? I know you were already on with them.
Yeah. How do you guys like our former Hawkeye AJ Blazik? Is it Blazik or Blazik?
Mike, take it away. I know you have strong feelings on the subject.
He's probably the hire of the year right now on the staff. We have, let's see. I mean, we've between like me, Tyler, and Jay, clearly we've talked about how well the offensive line has improved, especially from last year, not just from a yards per game standpoint, from a discipline standpoint too, with penalties. We did have a few against Penn State the other night that I'm not too happy with, but collectively, it's been way better in comparison to last year. I mean, Coach Blazik for the next 2 recruiting classes, he's bringing in 10 dudes combined from 24 and 25 classes.
Damn.
At ease too.
Woo.
So like,
it's a lot.
you can tell the guys want to play for him. A couple guys have spoken out and said he's a player's coach. He's that type of mentality and everything. And yeah, at the end of the day, the players listen to him and they want to play for him. So as far as recruiting goes, he's making the biggest splashes out of all the staffs too. If you want to go by, the whole 4-star, 5-star, 4-star, 3-star thing, if you break it down by position groups, he's going to be number 1 on that list for us. So getting back to where we are, like the old school batters in some ways when some of our best players are offensive linemen, but how could you not love that, right? But no, I think he's been the hire of the year so far with the staff wise.
Hell yeah.
Just
that makes me happy.
He talks about Casey's enough too. I'm like, damn, this dude better not get poached by Iowa. I'm gonna be bummed.
I miss me some Casey's. Don't get me wrong.
Well, for the record, I like Quick Star, aka Quick Trip, better than Casey's. So
okay,
Quick Trip is elite. So
it is. It's good.
I have Wawa. It's not as good, boys.
I've been to a Wawa. Definitely not Quick Trip level.
I don't care what they tell you down here. When I got here, they were all like, "Oh, you gotta try Wawa's food." I tried it. It's like they just sent everything through a conveyor oven and then handed it to you. I'm like, no, gross.
Yeah, dude. The chicken.
Yeah, it's like chicken that ran through a conveyor belt, dude.
Yeah, it was rubber, dude. It was terrible.
Nasty ass stuff. But all right, sorry, get back on track here. I love food, so if we start talking about food or beer, we're in trouble, man. We'll be talking about that shit all night.
Little healthy gas station debate never hurt anybody.
No, we'll go on to grocery stores next. All right. Well, Well, cool. So for those who are obviously unfamiliar with Wisconsin, who's going to be your difference maker on offense? Who do you think is going to be able to either move the ball or get open against this Iowa defense, especially those linebackers for Iowa?
Go ahead, Tyler, since yours was offense.
Yeah.
There's a couple low-hanging fruits, being Tawi Walker and Will Pauling. Tawi Walker is a similarly built truck of a running back. He was kind of brought in to be, like a change of pace, bowling ball, run over your DBs on the way to the end zone type guy. And he's actually shown that he can be an RB1. And especially with the injury to Ches Malusi and him taking the rest of the year off to focus on getting healthy, Tawi Walker he's been the guy. And he's done pretty well. Those going into the Northwestern game, he had 8 touchdowns in 3 games at one point against USC, Purdue, and Rutgers. So he had 8 touchdowns in those 3 games. And then Will Pauling, the leading receiver, he's had a couple drops the last couple of weeks, which is something that we know he's capable of cleaning up. And what we've said is Will Pauling is capable enough that if he can clean up those drops, he's a guy that could be playing on Sundays.
He has 38 catches, right?
He has.
Because you had two guys that have 300 some yards receiving, but one of them has like 38 catches, or the other one has 20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're talking
Vinny
Vinny Anthony on the other one.
Yeah, Vinny Anthony's a big play guy.
Yeah, he's got.
Will Pauling has 38 catches. Yes.
Yeah,
Mike,
that's impressive.
pick your offensive guy, Mike. Let's see what you got.
I think I am going to go with Vinny Anthony now after what Tyler said, because he's coming off the best game last week, I think, against Penn State. What he had 7, I think he had 7 catches.
He has 8 for 10.
Yeah. So
7 for 10. It was 7 for 10. My bad.
Yeah.
Will Pauling was 8 for 13. That's what I was thinking of. 8.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Vinny Anthony's quietly putting together a really good season. I mean, I think about this last game against Penn State. He had some big plays. You go back to USC on the second or third play of the game, he just burned the corner on a fly route, and he just absolutely schooled him for 6. So we definitely, I think, speed side of things, the Badgers have gotten better at receiving. It's just more so cleaning up the execution part and making those plays. But as of late, Vinny Anthony's, I think, the bright spot and coming along here. If Braden Locke can make good decisions and get the ball in his hands, I think good things could potentially happen. So I'll go with Vinny Anthony on this one.
If we're going off of pedigree, it is definitely going to be Will Pauling. Excuse me. If we're going off of recent events, it's definitely going to be Vinny Anthony or Tawi Walker. I do think a dark horse guy. I've liked what I've seen from him the last couple of weeks. I think he should get more carries. I like what I see out of Dupree. He's got the side to side quickness. He's got a little bit of toughness. I would really like to see him touch the ball a little bit more. Maybe some screen plays.
Yeah.
That's where I think he could really be key. I think he has good vision. I think he's a little bit underrated. I know he's a young kid, but he runs tough. I think he's going to be a stud in the coming years. But a guy that'll make a big impact on Saturday. He's really the guy that stretches the defense. Is definitely Vinny Anthony. Tyler hit the nail on the head with that one.
Very nice. Give me 1 second, guys. Brandon, you want to ask a question? Sorry.
Favorite rivalry in the Big Ten or anybody?
All right, I have an answer. I'm just going to go first.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think of it in terms of NFL, right? So my favorite rivalry as a Packers fan is definitely the Bears. I love the banter with the fans. It's the oldest rivalry. The best rivalry we have is with the Vikings. They're the ones that beat us the most often. We beat them. Their fans are also still dickheads. I don't know how you guys feel about cussing, but I just said one. Same thing goes for Wisconsin. My favorite rivalry for Wisconsin is Minnesota. Who doesn't like winning a giant axe, dude? Are you serious? Things like 20 feet tall. It's awesome.
That is a cool.
The best rivalry is with Iowa. Because, like you said before, Brad, I have a lot of respect for Iowa. I still don't like you guys, but I have a lot of respect for Iowa. You guys put a ton of people in the NFL. You consistently are putting out winning seasons. You guys consistently have good defenses. You run the ball. You got that old school feel, and you never have a quarterback. So you know exactly how we feel. You know exactly how we feel.
Boom.
Our best rivalry is definitely with Iowa. My favorite is definitely Minnesota.
Very
Jake,
nice.
I would say Jake hit it on the head. I'm going to completely 100% agree with what he says. I mean, deep down, I'm not a PJ guy. I just don't know. I could go down that rabbit hole and talk to you guys all night about that, but I think Iowa fans can.
Can I join you?
I was gonna say, what do you guys think about PJ Fleck? We can find some common ground here.
I actually respect the hell out of Iowa. I mean, they got us the last 2 years. We got to return the favor at some point. I'm hoping it's this Saturday, but I mean what was it? The win-loss record's dead ass even. I'm pretty sure it's like, I don't know, 49 to 47. I don't know, someone can check that, but no, I mean, we've gone back and forth for the longest time. It's always interesting. Thank you. All right, 49-46. Perfect. All right. 3-1 last 4. Yeah, we got to clean that up. So hopefully we can do that this weekend. But no, I am gonna completely agree with what Jake said. That was a perfect breakdown.
What does that say for our total offense, Tyler? What did I tell you, dude? The goddamn number follows us, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Nice.
Trade you.
Just like you draw it
up.
Hey, that's still 31 better than last year, so I'm okay with that.
It is very true. Yeah, well, it was a lot higher earlier this season. Like we were in the 60s, weren't we?
Yeah, and then we shit the bed on some stuff, so it happens. It is what it is.
Thanks, Cade.
Yeah, thanks, Cade. We don't have to worry about that this weekend. All right, back to the topic at hand. So you already touched on your offensive dudes. So, yeah, Will Pauling is the guy that caught my eye for sure. And it scares me with the way Iowa has transitioned defensive backs this year because they keep getting torched. Last week, Northwestern was unable to do it. We also had a true freshman get to play last week at cornerback. And usually if Iowa plays a true freshman at cornerback, that is your next NFL dude. I could probably go and look up the list of freshmen that quickly. I mean, Cooper DeJean is one. Highest rated Eagles player right now on defense since he's been a starter. Riley Moss was another one. I mean, I don't know. I think that's where you guys are going to get us, man. And that guy, 38 catches, that ain't no joke. And have two dudes that almost have 400 yards. That's pretty scary stuff for us. Now defense. Who's your playmaker? Who's going to make an impact on defense?
All right, Mike, go ahead. Talk about Hunter Wohler.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I think at the end of the day, I mean, I would say we got two guys, both in the secondary, that I think are probably the best players on the defense. I'm going to start with safety Hunter Wohler. The dude's a ball hawk. He'll line up anywhere around the field. 3-year starter now. He's a senior. He's local boy here in Wisconsin. Absolutely loves the program and whatnot. He's averaging, anywhere from about, I think, close to anywhere from 7 to 10 tackles a game. He's going to be one of the guys that's going to get that one of those tackles for losses for you on any given night. He'll line up on a tight end if he's your best player. He's going to line up all over the field. You will see number 24 in the backfield. You're going to see him in the secondary. Just a true ball hawk who will be playing on Sundays for sure. That's a fact. And then the other guy I would point out is going to be cornerback Ricardo Hallman, number 2. I think he was All-American 13 last year or something like that. But he had 7 interceptions last season. Had a hell of a season. And then this year, it's funny because you hardly hear his name during games. You know why? Because no one wants to throw the ball his way. We talked about that today a little bit, and I've made hints about it for all season because he doesn't have an interception or anything, but he's not getting opportunities because hardly anyone throws his way. So I think that's another candidate that could be playing on Sundays too. For the foreseeable future as soon as after this season, because I believe he's a junior. So I would say those are the 2 best players on this defense. If Tyler or Jake want to elaborate any more on some other guys, I would go right ahead.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Badgers have played 8 games. Ricardo Hallman has been targeted 16 times.
There you go.
Holy shit.
So
Ooh.
they're really not throwing the ball in Ricardo Hallman's direction. Other than that, we each kind of have an area that we pay attention to. For me, it's the linebackers. The two guys that are the mainstays in the linebacker room are Jake Chaney and Jaheim Thomas. Jaheim Thomas is actually coming on really well the last couple of weeks. He's playing pretty well. Jake Chaney's kind of just been there. He hasn't really wowed me outside of a couple plays here and there. One guy to potentially keep an eye out as a potential dark horse from the linebacker room, and a guy that the Iowa offensive line is definitely keeping an eye on. There are 2 of them, actually, I would say, are John Pius and Leon Lowry. If there's going to be any pressure on your quarterback this week, it's probably going to come from one of those 2.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, so fan of the show, Ricardo Hallman, by the way. He was on the pod. Really good kid.
Oh, nice.
Really good football player. Definitely going to be a cornerback on Sundays. He's quick, very smart. Yeah, you heard the stat that Tyler said. Hunter Wohler is a dog. He lines up in the box. He lines up in the slot. He lines up as the single high safety. He gets tackles for loss on third downs. He will guard your tight end 40 yards down the field. He just does everything. He's a stud. In terms of linebackers, Tyler called it off first, but Christian Allegro, dude, that guy, his film pops out at you. He may have limited snaps on Saturdays, but he's fast and he's big. And he's going to be a monster for years to come. On the D line, it's definitely going to be Hills. I'm blanking on his first name. What is his first name?
Elijah
Hills.
Elijah Hills. He's definitely our best D lineman. He's been improving a lot this year. He's the guy that can get some A gap, B gap pressures for the Badgers up front. But other than that, they don't have a lot of playmakers up front. The D line as a totality has been getting better. But right now, Eli Hills is the lead man.
Yeah, Iowa, baby. It's already begun, man. We haven't even got there yet. So what are your guys' keys? I mean, so you guys touched on some defense. We touched on some offense. I guess maybe we'll go into special teams, I guess. I skipped special teams. Who you guys got for special teams? You guys got a kicker?
Jake, that's your area.
All you, man.
Yeah, so Nathaniel Vakos has actually been pretty good this year. He's missed some field goals, but he's been really good from extra point. Hasn't missed an extra point this year. Last week he had a really good week. He made a field goal between the 30-39 range, and he also tied a school record for most 50-plus yard field goals.
Nice.
In terms of punter, I told Brandon this earlier. You guys know what it's like to have a dominant punter. Atticus Bertrams, we have a running joke on our show that we literally started the first week of the season that he was our best player on our team, and it has not been more true than this current moment right now. He has been our most consistent and best player. Last week he had 5 punts for 257, a 47 net average, 2 inside the 20. So he's been very good, consistent all year. We don't really return kicks, to be completely honest with you. Punt return, we've had multiple people back there. Against USC, we had a blunder that allowed USC to get some momentum and allow them to take that game. Ever since that moment, we put Hunter Wohler back there because he's going to raise his hand to the air and he's going to catch the damn ball. So that's all I care about with that. Kick returns, Vinny Anthony had 1 kick return for 16 yards last week. But like I said, we don't really try to challenge people in the kick return area, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, I'm just like, just catch the ball because as a Packers fan, I get a lot of PTSD with special teams.
Brandon can relate.
Yeah, I know he can.
Not no more.
It's frozen
Not
right
no
now.
more.
Not no more. We like punting in Iowa, man.
McManus.
Yeah, we like punting at Iowa.
You were speaking our language, man.
We do.
I love that.
Facts, man.
Real question is, are you guys going to punt to Wetchen? Everybody's punted to him all year, and it was only a matter of time before he broke one.
I don't know. That's a good question. Bertram's is pretty good with hang time. I think he allows his guys to get down there, and he can kind of coffin corner if he needs to, man. He's been really good at aiming his punts out of bounds when he needs to as well.
I like that. We like punting, man. I love hearing a good punt story.
It's pretty weird to talk nicely about a punter, man.
Heck yeah.
Hey, we had an Iowa punter on here one time. We got in trouble. What happened?
Nice. On 33 punts, he's had 11 returns, and the average yards per return punt is 6.8. So the Badgers are pretty solid in punt coverage.
Chris, they already talked about him, and they love him.
Yep.
Don't poach him from us.
Yep.
Thank you.
We got our eye locked in on him.
Right.
Sweet. What did your take? I know I was in dinner, so I didn't get to hear or see much of your guys' show. What's the chatter around Wisconsin about Iowa? I know you talked about you guys back for Iowa because we're very similar programs. What's the nation feel about this game? Are they a little worried?
Actually, everybody's kind of been looking past it and looking at Oregon. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope
it's pretty similar to what you were saying. I mean, it's a similarly matched team. It's going to be running the ball and playing defense. That's really what it is. That's why there is, I believe, mutual respect is because of the similarity between the programs. Even if you go farther than just beyond football, like even the basketball programs have had their back and forth. The academics part of it is important to both. They both have really good college football traditions that everybody loves. There's really a lot of similarity between the two. And I think it's going to be a little bit tougher of a similar matchup than it was for Wisconsin and Rutgers. I don't think enough Badgers fans really gave enough credit to how similar Rutgers was on paper going into that game, and coming out of that game, then it's just easy to go, oh, it's just Rutgers, because people didn't actually look into what Rutgers was going into their matchup with Wisconsin. But I think Iowa, having a longer track record of being a team that runs the ball and plays good defense, I think Badgers fans are giving a little bit more respect to Iowa than they gave to Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers not a bad team. I know there were some people.
They're really not.
I encountered some people that picked them to make the playoff because they had a favorable schedule. I called them insane, but
I mean, Indiana's doing it.
Yeah, Indiana's doing it.
Indiana.
I mean, they're 8-0 right now. It's a crazy thing, but I mean, Rutgers, yeah, man, second leading rusher in the Big Ten. I think Kyle has just under 1,000 yards.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Badgers held him down, and still Badgers fans were like, "Oh, it's just Rutgers," and not really giving the respect to the opponent that was due.
I mean, this day and age football, I feel like that saying is almost going to be gone because you're going to be left with 4 power conferences, and every game is going to be
tough,
a dogfight, man. I mean, we're seeing it already this year, where the SEC don't even have an undefeated team anymore, and usually they have like 2 or 3 by now, and everybody else is shit in the bed. Big Ten has 3. This is crazy. Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana of all damn teams. So
Indiana,
right?
Indiana, what the hell?
I say hats off to their coach for calling his shot, man. Did you guys get to see his press conference?
Yeah.
I call that's some big dick energy right there, and he's backing it up too. That's what's crazy.
Yo, dog said, "Google me." Holy shit!
I win everywhere. Google me. Boom, baby.
Goodness.
Dude, yeah, that makes me want to root for the guy myself.
Same.
I think we keep losing Brandon here.
The cellular towers are going down now.
You usually don't get service in your shower.
Have you tried a lot, or?
Yeah, a few times, man. Brandon, you still there?
Just spinning in a circle.
Spinning in a circle. I'm gonna remove him for a second and see when I see him. Still spinning. Well, shit. We'll keep going. I don't want to do the picks yet, man, because he'll be upset that we pick without him.
Oh, I wrote down his picks as well.
What what are your takes on Iowa, I guess? I mean, you kind of covered a little bit, but from an outsider's perspective, what's your guys' thoughts on the game? I guess each of you, if you want to answer and let us know.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'll start. So, I mean, as you guys obviously got a stud run back in Caleb Johnson, 1,000-yard rusher. I think going into this game, I mean, I know Brandon Sullivan's kind of somewhat of a dual threat. He's going to run a little bit, but I still think at the end of the day, we need to load the box up on you guys and just make Brandon Sullivan try and win it and throw it to our secondary. And I think is our strong suit of this defense. So I think we got to do whatever it takes to get tackles for losses. That was my key going into this game. Build up some tackles for losses on Caleb Johnson once he gets the ball. Force Iowa to go into second and 11, second and 12, third and 8, third and 9, and make the quarterback try and make plays. We do have a little bit of familiarity with Brandon Sullivan when he was at Northwestern. He's got 8 starts, I think, under his belt. So batters should be there's a little familiarity here with his game. So we're not going to be completely blindsided. I don't think going into this. So it's going to be interesting. But as far as Iowa, I still think it's the hard-nosed program that loves to run the hell out of the ball and all about the rock fights for the most part. So and that's what I think is going to happen this Saturday again against us. So, no, nothing's changed in my view with the Iowa program. Very respectable and got to bring our A game.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'll go real quick. Couple things. I wrote down a lot of really tiny numbers, so I'm going to try to read them again. The Badgers excuse me, I'm so used to starting with the Badgers. The Hawkeyes, they average 5.6 yards per rush, which is number 9 in the country, but they only average 5.5 yards per pass, which is number 130th in the country. That's not good. They also only give up 3.8 yards per rush, and I think the line of scrimmage is really going to be key. They don't hurt themselves on offense. They are the number 1 team in the nation at penalties per game on offense, only 2.1 penalties per game. And an interesting stat I found that you probably won't like, Brad, is Iowa's record after wins 1-3. They have lost to Iowa State, Ohio State, Michigan State, and I said on our show, and I told Tyler before the show, this week we will be known as Wisconsin State, so we can join the teams that beat Iowa after a win with the name State in their name.
You're gonna have to, man, if it's gonna keep that trend going.
We're Wisconsin State on Saturday.
Wisconsin State, let's go. I love it. All right, Tyler, what do you got?
Like I said, I really think it comes down to the similarity and the respect that is actually given towards Iowa because of the track record. There was 3 weeks of it's just this team. It's just this team, even though we talked about those 3 teams being outscored by 101 points. That's outrageous to outscore your opponents by 101 points. That's something that like Alabama does in the first 3 games of the season when they're playing non-conference opponents.
Yeah, true.
And the Badgers did that against 3 Big Ten teams.
Yep.
After being called by their own fan base early in the season, being called a glorified MAC team and shit like that. A lot of disrespectful stuff because they weren't blowing out teams early in the season. Then they lose their quarterback, which was really unfortunate. They jump out to a big lead against USC, lose in the second half, basically without scoring any points, and then rattle off 3 fairly convincing wins where they don't really allow a lot of points. Then they play the number 3 team in the country, only allowed 7 points in the first half of that game. They only gave up 14 in the second half of that game. The other 7 points that Iowa scored, or that Penn State scored, came from the pick 6. So, I mean, you look at that. I mean, 37 points in 4 weeks that the Badgers defense has allowed. We talked about we do 2 score predictions on our show, and mine both have Iowa scoring under 20. Like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, if you will say that, about the Badgers defense. That's really where I'm at. Like I'm bought into the Badgers defense over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's you're not wrong there. The other week I shared a stat when Iowa scores, I think it was 21 points. There's something like 28.
Yeah, it was 21.
21 points in the last, I think it was since 2021.
17. What, you chose 21?
when they scored the 21 points. I can't remember what the hell it was. But yeah, I think you're not wrong when it comes to that. If they can hold Iowa under 21 points, we're going to have ourselves
I
a
say
rock
smart
fight.
things sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
And
gonna be a
history's
rock
been on
fight.
your side, too. When it comes to this series, I mean, history's been on your side when it comes to these rock fights, as you guys refer to it as. Yeah, man, I feel like we're setting up for one of those as well. Brandon, what's your take on the game? I know you're already on their show and talked about it. What do you got for us? Now you're back.
Well, as I was telling them earlier, they just whoever wins the turnover battle wins the game. Like, and the trenches, like that. It's just we're a bunch of Midwestern boys, dude. Like, you've got to win the war in the trenches, especially when both teams identify as running teams. And then as far as the turnover thing, our quarterbacks aren't, they're not the greatest in the world, but they can get the job done when need be. So whoever makes the most mistakes is probably going to lose the game. So
Very nice. Mine, I think this comes down to Tim Lester. I think this is the Tim Lester game, and he's got his quarterback now. He hasn't had that all year. Somehow he's been able to pull rabbits out of his hat or his ass, however you want to look at, put up 40 points multiple times this year, which is awesome. I love that stuff. But you have your RPO quarterback that you actually tried recruiting out of high school. You have him now. You waving? What are you waving at?
power just came on.
Yeah, that's what he's waving about. The little things. But no, this is his chance to really show why they brought him in here, why his offense is something that people should be excited about. And he has his quarterback now. And yeah, you got there's some tape of him, obviously, from Northwestern. But I think this is his chance to really open it up because there's no tape of Tim Lester running Brandon Sullivan, or I don't think we've seen all of Tim Lester's offense with Cade McNamara under center. An RPO offense with that guy under center. It's his game. I think that's the difference maker. I know both teams are going to probably play great defense, as they always do. They're both going to have phenomenal line games. It's going to be about turnovers, but I think the ultimate thing it will come down to, I think, is going to be Tim Lester and whether he has one of his things. So I actually was going to say something about this.
All right.
Tyler said he's good at baseball. I guess Jake said he was good at baseball.
I'm gonna be a little savage right now. First of all, we all want baseball. Second of all, you don't get to talk to us like that until you have a winning record versus our football team. How about that?
Let me say this: there's a couple different sports that Wisconsin is obviously focused on besides men's basketball and football, and that's men's and women's hockey and women's volleyball.
Yeah,
Wisconsin is consistently one of the top teams in those three sports.
Yep.
That's true.
Hey, I want you to get on a baseball. I want you guys to have a baseball team, though.
We want a baseball team.
We
I
do
would love
too,
to watch
yeah.
college baseball.
Those jerseys would be sick.
Oh, fire, dude. And the
Wisconsin
hats.
script.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like they'd have pinstripes too, white jerseys with red pinstripes. Oh,
Dude, get it going. You guys have a club team, though, right?
yeah.
We actually had a Badger player on the podcast, Amari Snowden. He was talking about that because he's a cornerback on the team, and he originally committed to Cincinnati under Fickle. Then when he left, because Wisconsin was his second school at the time, but because Cincinnati had baseball, he went there instead. Now, if we got him up to Wisconsin, one of the first things he said was, "Well, y'all got to get a ball team." So trust me, that the players want it too.
I was waiting for it.
We missed these comments, by the way, Vandy. Thank you.
We're glad you're back, my friend.
That's fair.
For you guys, he almost was going to co-host if Brandon couldn't get his technical issues. He's actually born and raised in Iowa, grew up a Hawkeye fan, so he knows. He's like the encyclopedia of Iowa from like the 70s through the 90s. So he's a lot of fun, but now he's a Vandy fan and he lives in Tennessee. So glad you're back.
We want baseball too.
Having a good year, Vandy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Oh, he's been on cloud 9, man.
I
And
would
they
be.
beat Bama, so I'm chilling.
Yeah, and they only lost by 3 last week, I think.
Took that goalpost to Broadway.
Yeah.
Man, I could only imagine.
Wouldn't you, though?
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have loved to be in there. I'd be there.
Right.
Hey, speaking of Mr. PJ Fleck, y'all remember that time Iowa took down Minnesota's own goalpost and tried leaving the Metrodome with it? Good times, anyway. Sorry. But yeah, that's my take. What do you say we do some picks? We'll start off. Hold on.
That must have been the year you were born.
Cloud 78.
Got 78. I think he's older than that. Sorry, Chris. So we're gonna do some picks with you guys before we actually pick the good game. You guys down with that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We usually do about 5 games.
Always.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna challenge you here. I'm gonna remove myself.
Okay.
Hold on a second. That ain't gonna work for me.
Oh, now what? Oh, there's too many of us.
There's too many. I can make the camera. Hold on.
They can hear me. That's all that matters. They're a guest in our house. We're going to treat them like guests. Keep me off the screen. I'm just an echo.
No, you're in.
I make my guests sit
All right.
outside, man. You're much nicer than me.
Hey,
Oh.
look at that. Ba-boom. All right. Let's keep it in the Big Ten, boys. As our guests, I'm going to let you guys start first. We're going to pick Oregon versus Michigan. Oregon, a 15.5-point favorite.
I was going to say 15.5. Give me Oregon to cover that one. I think
Yeah.
Michigan still has quarterback issues. I don't see it. And it's at the big house too.
Yes.
It is
Yeah.
a big- Yep.
I still think Oregon covers that game. Michigan's got a lot of issues on offense that I do not trust at all.
Yep, I would take Oregon and the points.
You going
I don't
over?
need to talk.
You going to go over the 45.5 or are you going to stay under?
I would go over.
Ooh, 30 to 15.
They
I'm
can
going
put it
over.
on
Yeah.
to 30 to 15. I would go over that.
Oregon definitely
Or
covers.
like
Oregon.
40-0. Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the over.
We thought we were bad and we can't throw. Orgy really can't throw.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oregon's offense is pretty nuts. I could see that game being like a 45 to 16.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Brandon, who you got?
Well, so I don't. You guys probably haven't seen our previous shows, but ask Brad. I do not like Oregon, so I will hate the hell out of them as much as I want. But unfortunately, they're going to win this game.
Yeah.
By like 20, 21 points. But here's my thing. I do think that they're going to have a rematch with Ohio State and lose in Indy.
Ugh, that would be
Really?
annoying.
I could see that. Ohio State's going to have that home crowd for sure. And that one,
Oh,
that'll
yeah.
be a home game for them.
As long as homeboy don't pull his impression of Dak Prescott, we'll be good. Get how much time's left and take a knee.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Oregon too, man. I don't think it's gonna be close. I think
Sucks,
Michigan shot their wad against USC, and it showed. I mean, they went to Washington and got beat up. The same team Iowa just took to the woodshed, putting up 40-some points on them. I got Oregon 41-10. I think Michigan may move the ball late or may get a turnover. It just kind of depends. I'm giving them 10 points just to be generous. That's all I got. All right, we're going to change this one up. Verdict across the board, Oregon in a sweep 5-0. Perfect. Sleeper game here, boys.
Ooh.
Pitt, undefeated Pitt visiting
Yep.
SMU. Now, I read SMU's quarterback may be out the game. They haven't announced it yet, so that could change everything because right now SMU is a 7.5-point favorite.
I was going to say they're having a good year as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pitt's undefeated. God, I wish I knew more about Pitt. Honestly, I really, really wish I did. I have seen more clips of SMU, to be honest. So
Right.
just because this game's in Dallas, I'll take SMU, but I'll say Pitt covers it'll be plus 7.5.
I
Tyler,
think I'm going to go with SMU too. I personally, just because I think I like SMU better, but they're having a better year. They've been ranked in the top 25 for a couple of weeks in a row now, so they have a wide open offense. They're not afraid to throw the ball.
Yeah, I think too. I think SMU is just a slight better on offense, so it could be maybe it's one of those like shootout type games. It ends up being like 35-33 or something like that. But yeah, I would take SMU in a close game. Question mark?
Question?
Ooh.
Overtime would be interesting.
Nice.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Pitt's not at home though, Vandy.
Rather at Dallas, not at home.
Brandon, who you got?
I got the Fighting Eric Dickersons. I'm going with SMU.
There you go.
Look at you go. Hey,
Eric Dickerson.
Yeah, running back for the Rams.
Him
Yeah.
and Greg
My
James,
father-in-law is a
man.
huge Rams fan, dude, and I bought him an Eric Dickerson jersey like 2 years ago. He wears that son of a bitch everywhere.
How was a couple weeks ago, man? My dad's a huge Rams fan too, and I didn't hear the end of it until we finally won. So
After taking, a third consecutive loss, I think he's learned his lesson.
right. That's the most we've played them in like recent memory, I swear, dude. We never used to play them, and then all of a sudden just the past 3 times, just boom, boom, boom.
He knows his place.
Good.
Being in the playoffs has been fun too.
Good.
All right, my take. I am taking SMU because they were doing the NIL thing before it was cool. They just happened to get for it.
That's right.
Exactly.
So I'm taking the OG dogs in this bad boy, and I'm taking them 35-21. I think they come rowdy. I don't think it matters who the quarterback is. I think Dallas is going to be a lit place for them. Yeah, and they're the OGs, so I got to go with them, man. All right. Only because I live down here, and it's the world's largest cocktail party. If you guys have never been down to this, you have to come down to it. It's a blast, man. But Florida, Georgia, for the last time in Jacksonville for at least 2, maybe 3 years, when the Jags are getting their badass stadium. I don't know if you guys have seen that thing.
Yep.
That thing's beautiful.
Look really cool.
Brett, we just played them.
Hey,
but yeah, I'm just saying.
it's fine.
Oh,
They have
yeah.
a new stadium, though. That's what I'm talking about. And you guys beat
Hey, Brett.
What?
How'd that game go the other day?
I'm a Niners fan. We won, bro. It's good.
You said you like the Jags too. It's okay, man.
I live down there, bro. All right. Largest cocktail party, Georgia.
So
16-point favorite.
we have the Florida Gators versus the Green Bay Packers minor league team. I'm going to go with Georgia.
So funny.
It's true.
So my best buddy from college, actually, biggest freaking Georgia Bulldogs fan I've ever met. I know I haven't met too many Dogs fans, but no, he's absolutely loves Georgia, and he always talks about this rivalry, like the Florida. It's the Florida game every year. This is like one of those rivalries that's been going on for a long, long time. One of the most heated ones, I think, in college football too, believe it or not. And every year this game gets brought up. That being said, I would not want to screw with Georgia right now. I think Florida, they're going to be up and coming. If anything, DJ Lagway, their quarterback, is going to be good. I think Graham Mertz obviously is not playing because he tore his ACL. So we're going to see Lagway this weekend. But I think you maybe give that program 1 or 2 years potentially. I know their coach is also on the hot seat as well after this season. So I'm going to take the Dogs. I'll even take them to cover. Georgia, with how they played against Texas, went into their house, took them out by 15 points on the road. They're hot right now, and they could arguably be the number 1 team in the country in my view right now, especially after that Texas win.
Yeah, Kirby Smart has the boys pretty focused. This is a big-time rivalry, so nobody's going to be overlooking it. I honestly think that Georgia could win this game by 17 points.
Ooh, I believe it.
What's your score, Brandon?
35-17, Georgia.
Hey, we're on the same page.
And all the Georgia peaches will be barking.
That's all right. I got Georgia too, easy, but I'm going 52-13.
Damn.
Whoa. Florida's in trouble, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Napier, I think
Okay.
Napier's out the door after
There's
this
only
year.
one-
That's what everyone
Yep.
at SEC is talking about. Is
There's
Napier
only
gone?
one coach safe in Florida right now, and that's the old boy down at Miami.
Yep.
All the
You're
other
right.
ones are looking like shit and on hot seats, man, and they don't put up with that crap down here. So
No.
this ain't gonna be, oh, you were good last year. We don't care. You need to be good this year too. But yeah, I think they get just shit stopped, dude. To be honest with you, I hope I'm wrong. Just so it's a good game in Jacksonville, but I don't think so. All right, big one in Big Ten. Does James Franklin finally get this done? Did you guys see the stats on him versus I think it's top 5 teams? Hold on. Got to see if I have it still. All right, so this 1-6 versus top 10 teams at home. 1-8 versus top 5 teams, and 1-9 versus Ohio State.
Oh.
Does he get it done finally?
I
their
don't
biggest
think so. I think it's going to be 1-10.
I don't see it. I really don't. I just going back to last week and just knowing like the amount of opportunities we had against Penn State, we should have been right there. That being, I don't see them as the number 3 team in the country personally. Based off of last week. I do think they're going to keep it close. This is going to be a Happy Valley. This is going to be a day game, which is fortunate for Ohio State, I guess. It's not going to be a night with the whiteout, but it's still going to be crazy. I don't know why that's not going to be at night, but is what it is. But I think Ohio State still gets it done, even though they played like absolute trash last week against Nebraska at home. They almost lost that game. Nebraska had the lead in the fourth quarter, and they damn near won. So I think Ohio State's going to have a point to prove in this one, and I think it's going to be close. I'm going to give Penn State the benefit of the doubt there. But if Drew Allar's playing, I don't see him being 100% in this either. And Ohio State's defense is nothing to, it's not spectacular, I guess, but it's also not a defense you want to screw around with. So I'm going to say 24-17, right around there. I think Ohio State, I could see them drive down fourth quarter, last drive of the game to get it done.
I think Ohio State gets this thing done. Penn State is not playing against USC where they could just throw Tyler Warren around everywhere in 15 different spots in the field and throw him the ball down the field 40 times. They're not playing. Wisconsin held them to 7 points before the backup quarterback came in, started running all over our butts, and we gave them an interception at the 10-yard line. Before that, we were absolutely shutting Penn State down. I understand this game is at Penn State, but Ohio State's level of offense and defense is higher than Wisconsin's. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I think Ohio State can win this game by 8 to 10. I really feel like that. 8 to 10 points.
I was thinking 10.
Man, I believe it.
All right. Brandon, who you got? What's your score?
The Ohio State, 35-28.
I can see it.
Ooh.
Close enough, buddy. Off by 1.
I'm going with Vandy Crisp, a little different score. I think Penn State pulls the upset finally. I think James Franklin finally does it. Even a broken clock is correct twice, boys. And I think
Vandy, I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say Wisconsin has a better quarterback than Ohio State.
Have you watched a single Badger game this year, bro?
I don't think I can get behind that.
No.
I love the Badgers.
Will Howard's
no
better.
way in hell. No way in hell. No absolute way in hell. I'm sorry.
Ruffle.
Jeez.
I think James Franklin does it, man. 28-27, pulls the upset. Covers. I know. Shit, what was it? Ohio State's 3.5? 3.5 point favorite.
3.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You may think Will Howard is terrible, but if you compare our wide receiver rooms, our wide receiver room would be called terrible compared to Ohio State's. Let's call
Everybody's would be.
Will Howard is completing 74% of his passes, has 17 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I would take that in a fucking heartbeat.
Facts.
Dude, you know the last quarterback to do stats like that for us is the best quarterback I've ever seen for the Badgers, and his name was Russell Wilson.
Chase Daniel was a good college quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey,
He was not a good NFL quarterback, but he was a
Hey.
good college quarterback.
Good backup.
I'll take his NFL career all day. What was he in the league for? Like 12 years. He's got Super Bowl rings and millions of dollars, and all he did was hold a clipboard, baby.
And
Well,
Bro, and he makes
he was a
crazy
backup.
TikTok content now,
Yeah.
dude.
yeah, he's a pretty solid analyst now. I like him.
Yeah,
Same,
he's-
I do too, man.
same with JT O'Sullivan and doing the QB school for NFL reviewing plays and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And like I
Yeah.
aspire to his level of play breakdown.
agreed.
Chase Daniels was great. All right. Let's get into it. You guys wanna see what the game simmed at?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Let's see it.
Yeah,
All
let's do
right, Tim's sim of the game. Brought to you by Mr. Tim. You guys have seen him commenting, man. Great guy. Tim sims these for us. We just started this actually, so not many screenshots, no plays. We don't got anything to view, but the sim came out with Wisconsin
Oh,
taking the W.
Dude, that's so close to the score I predicted from my heart. That is so close.
So there's
Come
the
on,
sim
Joe.
prediction. They got Wisconsin taking this game.
Not.
I'm with you on that. But it's our time to shine, baby.
Yep.
Let's get to the game of the week in our opinions. I don't give a shit about the other
Yeah,
ones.
that's why
I
they had
agree.
to move
Yeah.
Penn State and Ohio State to the day game so they could have us at night.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
talk
That's
this
right.
Midwest corn eating
Blackout, fellas.
blackout game in Iowa City. You
Tough.
All black.
guys scared of that?
That's tough. That's a tough
Nope.
environment to play in, man.
Especially in
Yes.
November. Iowa's 18-1 their last 19 games in November, by the way.
Well,
Nice.
I don't like that.
It's our month.
I guess this is when we decided to figure this. Oh, Tim says it was in overtime too. So that was a 20-20 game.
Woo.
Ooh.
dang.
Ooh. Yeah, big game. A lot of moving parts in this thing. Obviously, a blackout was announced. I was wearing all black uniforms. We don't know what they look like either. It was very cryptic. I don't know if we're going to see an Iowa alternate that we haven't seen before, or are we just going to go the straight black on black pants? I guess we're going to find out. And a big game for both teams, both sitting at 5-3, trying to get bowl eligible. Obviously, playoff for both teams is out the window. Big Ten championships out the window. But you're still playing for a 9-win season, so this is a big, big game. I know we talked about it earlier. We're probably just going to repeat ourselves like broken records again, but I'll just have each of you. We'll go around. We'll give us our keys to the game. One player that you think, if you haven't talked about him yet, or if you have, it's fine. One player you think that needs to step up and have a big game. And then obviously make your pick. So our guest of honor, let's start with Tyler first.
So what we do is if we're looking at specific players, we call them our X factors. My X factor for this game is Vinny Anthony. And it was nice when Brandon was on our show. He brought up the fact that Iowa State and Michigan State had been able to execute some deep balls against Iowa. And that's something that Vinny Anthony has been able to do for Wisconsin. And over the last couple of weeks, he's looked like a really legit wide receiver, not just a gadget player and a deep threat guy. So for me, looking at Vinny Anthony, we know who Will Pauling is. We know who Howie Walker is. But Vinny Anthony is just kind of one of those guys who doesn't get quite as much attention, but can hurt you just as much. So with that, we do 2 score predictions on our show every week. We do one from the head and one from the heart, the head being the more analytical point of view, and then the heart being our more optimistic, ideal scenario. So from the head, I had Wisconsin winning 20-17, and from the heart, I had Wisconsin winning 27-16.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mikey.
Okay. I guess for the X Factor, I didn't have one single guy. I just had the offensive line for this week. Coming off of last week against Penn State, we definitely got our teeth kicked in quite a bit. We only averaged, I think it was 2.7 yards per carry when all said and done. Oh, it was actually 3.0 yards, and our punter was actually the second leading rusher of the game last week on that fake punt for 1 run for 15 yards. So that's why our average was up. It was actually 2.5. So I think going into this game, we still have to establish a run in some retrospect, because we can't have Braden Locke throwing 50 times against Iowa. We know how that's going to end. At the same time, he does have to make timely throws. But no, it starts with the offensive line. I think in this game, they need to rebound from last week for sure. And they are going to be tested against a stout Iowa defense. And that being said, my head prediction, I had Iowa winning 17-16. I was saying this in the show as well. I think this is the first hostile environment in college football that Brandon Locke will be playing in. So it's going to be interesting to see how he adjusts in Kinnick at nights, because it's a little intimidating there. So we'll see if he can limit the mistakes, then we're going to have a chance. But no, I had Iowa winning 17-16, another rock fight. But from the heart, I did have 20-17 Wisconsin.
So first, I just want to say, Vandy Chris, please don't hate me. I enjoy the banter. It gets me going, man. I was born to talk shit, and I'm really good at it, and I like when people can clap back at me. Secondly, I'd like to thank Brad and Brandon. I really appreciate you guys bringing us on, dude. It's been a great Wednesday for me. I got to go to work. It was a great day at work. I got to talk about the Badgers. Brandon joined us earlier. I got to talk about the Bucks, and I got to call people a bunch of crybabies because they're crying because the Bucks started the season 1-3, and we're 4 games into an 82-game season. If you're a Bucks fan watching this, please do not bitch about the Bucks 4 games into an 82-game season. I have to repeat that. For me, with the X factor, I went with Phil Longo. Phil Longo is so Jekyll and Hyde with his play calling. He gets super aggressive sometimes, and sometimes the players execute the plays, and it's just like, wow, this is beautiful to watch. Then other times he's very conservative, and it's like, why are you pulling back the reins so much, man? Like ease up, man. You could still be aggressive. We saw that last week where we were very conservative, and it ended up burning us. So I went with third down specifically. Iowa's only giving up 34% of third down conversions. That's 34th in the country. The Badgers have to do a better job of putting themselves in position to be successful on third downs. First of all, Noah, you better hope the Packers don't win on Sunday with an injured Jordan Love, because if so, you are in trouble, my friend. From the head, I had Iowa winning 20-17. Playing Iowa at night at home is absolutely a nightmare for every young college kid. If it's not, it should be, because that is a very tough place to play. From the heart, I had Wisconsin winning 27-17. It's all love, man.
All right, Brandon. What you got, baby? What you
Well,
got?
I want you to be wrong about this game so badly. I'm so mad about it. So I'm pretty sure I started, let's see, 20-17. I think, was it my heart or my head? I can't remember. I know I had a 20-17 for one of them, and then it was a 28-21.
Yep.
Iowa, both Iowas.
Yep. You had both Iowa.
Just can't remember what order it was in, but I think this is Brandon Sullivan's time to shine. He needs to show me he is like triple threat or dual threat quarterback. He needs to pass, needs to run it. Do I think we're going to do a good job at the passing game? Probably not, but I need to see him run some more like he did last week, and I think we got him. So take it away, Brad.
Nice. I mean, I already touched on, I think this is a Tim Lester game. This is his quarterback, and it's time to shine. But I think a player that is due for a breakout game is Seth Anderson. So he was injured for most of the season. He only has 3 catches on the year, but they're for 71 yards. So he's got that big play X factor that we just haven't seen, obviously, all year or in the past. And now he has a different quarterback. So I'm going to be interested to see. I think a big game out of him means a big day for Iowa. With that said, I still have to agree with Brandon, though, that it's about Brandon Sullivan at this point. He changes the game, and now I'm just curious to see how they're going to use him.
Yeah.
And I want to see him throw the ball. I mean, he's only thrown the ball. Shit, let me look.
Was it
Ridiculous.
under
has-
10? Was it under 10?
He's thrown it 16 times only this season.
Oh, okay.
So he's 11 for 16, 93 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. They're 8 for 8 in the red zone under him, scoring 7 touchdowns, 1 field goal since they put him into the game. And I know you guys talked about this stuff earlier, but we had that game with Iowa State where we couldn't score from the 5-yard line, and it cost us that game. And they switched it the very next game and put Sullivan in for goal line packages, and it's worked every time. So I think he's the huge X factor in this game, and I'm curious to see. So with that said, I'm going to go heart pick first. I'm going 28-13 Iowa. I think that crowd, my heart says that crowd's going to be rowdy. It will be. And I think there'll be just too much. My head's going to say Iowa, though, 21-17, a little bit closer game. I think they get to that 21 range that I touched on earlier. I think it's a dogfight. I think it's a good game. And I think it comes down to basically everything all 4 of you have talked about on the show. Turnovers, running game, defense, playing Wisconsin and Iowa football. Whoever most mistake-free is probably going to be the one that comes out on the outcome. First to 21 wins, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I got the Hawks in this bad boy.
Yeah.
15-14. Iowa gets it done with all field goals from Drew Stevens. Heard. And
The
Chris.
saddest thing about that is I could actually see that happening.
100%.
I could see that happening too. That's what sucks. Now just how y'all got 14 points on us, though. Cade's not in there to give you 7.
5 field goals.
Well, shit, gentlemen, this has been a blast.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you guys coming on. This has been a pleasure. I know we've been excited since we decided, hey, let's get these guys on the show. We're fans of your show, obviously, Hawk fans. They're not just Nebraska or Wisconsin fans. They're also, hey, what's up, Mark?
Oh, nice.
Hey.
That is relation to Iowa's punter, Reese Dakin, right there.
Thanks, Mark.
What's
Appreciate
up,
it,
Mark?
bud.
Thanks for tuning in, man.
Right?
We're all the way in Australia, boys. Look at that. Let's go.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a pleasure. We've been excited and pretty pumped to have you guys on. Again, Hawk fans, they're not just Wisconsin. So if you're a Green Bay Packers fan or a Bucks fan or a Brewers fan,
Brewers. Yep.
check these guys out, dude. Great dudes. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you, man. Hope everything's well over there. Yeah, man, it's been a blast.
Thanks, guys.
I'll let you guys take over. Tell everybody, Hawk Nation, where they can find you guys, and also remind them again, you're not just Badgers, so you may get some followers out of these peeps. So this is your open floor, gentlemen. Let them know.
Go ahead.
Alrighty. Tuesdays, 8:00 live, Facebook and YouTube. We have a Twitter, TikTok, Instagram accounts as well. Facebook and YouTube is probably the place you see the most video. And Facebook is where our presence is the largest, because that's where we started. But 8:00 on Tuesday nights for Packers recaps and previews, and then Wednesdays at 4 for Badgers football and basketball, and then Milwaukee Bucks and Milwaukee Brewers recaps as well. And our stuff is from an optimistic and realistic perspective. We don't do the spiraling out of control, the whining, the everything sucks. We don't do all that. We've worked pretty hard over the last couple of years on improving our mindset so that stuff like that doesn't bother us as much, while also looking at problems as opportunities to improve, just as we would like to do in our personal lives. So we've taken a pretty different approach to sports analysis than there is on mainstream and what you get on a lot of, video and stuff like that. Says he does all of that, but yeah, it's different, and that's what we're going for.
Target market, by the way. Come join us, man. I enjoy the banter. We give you guys lots of numbers. We do lots of research. Also, you don't even have to be a Wisconsin sports fan at all. You can come join us for the draft. We do a lot of stuff for the NFL draft.
Yep. Draft time. For sure.
I really wanted to pump that up. I wanted to remind you to say that. We do a lot of stuff for the NFL draft. We break everything down. We pick positions, and there's 2 other guys that you don't see here. They join us for our Packer shows. It's Simon and Bryant. They're very smart guys. Bryant is a little bit unhinged at times, but I'm just gonna warn you before you come join and you see Bryant being unhinged. But they're both smart dudes. We go live for the first round, the second and third round of the NFL draft. We get joined by a guy named John on Lombardi Time Brews. He's also a great guy. So if you enjoy the NFL draft process, you can come join us for that as well. We try to cover the MLB draft and NBA draft as good as we can. We give you guys little snippets of that as well. But yeah, we cover it all. We love sports, and we don't care who knows.
Nice.
Yay.
You're welcome.
I love it. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, and
Thank you.
good luck Saturday. We'll have to have you guys on again, and you're always welcome with us. Just want you guys to know that whether you guys are playing or not, you just want to come on and bullshit football with us, you're more than welcome to anytime.
Absolutely, man.
Until next time, gentlemen, all I gotta say is good luck, and thanks again. Go Hawks.
Yeah, good luck. Hope you suck. Beat Iowa.
Good luck, fellas. Good luck, man.
Later, gentlemen. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, man. That was fun. Great dudes, man.
I told you.
Man, I didn't doubt you, baby. I didn't doubt you.
I told you, man.
Man, what did we say we wrap this up? I wasn't able to get that uploaded. Let's pay. We can do that. Let's pay a quick bill real quick. Shout out to the Villains Network here for hosting this. If you guys like sports, obviously they have a vast variety of sports they talk about. They talk about everything and every team possible. So check out the Villain Sports Media Network. Play a quick little commercial. We'll be back in about 45 seconds, y'all. Must have had a glitch. Well,
Say, was that 40? That wasn't 45 seconds. What?
No, I think it had a glitch. All right. Well, shout out to the network. But like I said, they cover all kinds of sports, man. Football. If you love football frame of mind, the college sports villains, they talk about everything. No Mercy Sports. If you like to talk and banter and bullshit, check these guys out, man. Great dudes. Man, that was a fun show. What do you say we end this baby with our famous, lovely friend here? Hold on a second.
Who are we waiting for?
Hold on. Bandy Chris's girl, dude. That's who we're waiting on. Bandy Chris's girl.
Oh.
All right, baby.
Yeah.
All right, this is kind of. All right, man. Worst of the weekend. The weird thing is I have to actually think about this, man. I actually had a pretty good weekend, and now I'm going to have to think. So I think I'm going to let you go first.
Well, I have two options. I could either go with the Yankees fan that tried to rip the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove last night, or I could go with Alliant Energy. I'm probably going to go with Alliant Energy.
Good call.
Damn you guys. I mean, you didn't ruin the show per se, but you sure did make me get a little antsy. And I'm already antsy enough as it is, because as soon as our show's off, my ass is going to the TV and I'm turning on that World Series. But damn you, Alliant. It's 2024. Get your shit together. What you got for me?
Man, you're going to make me think here. Hold on.
Cade McNamara?
No, he didn't do much to me this weekend. It was great. Not great that he got hurt, but I'm happy we get to see Sullivan finally back in action. So
Oh, I got a question for you. While you think, even though I'm gonna make you think even harder. So this is probably BS right here, but oh, you son of a bitch! Thanks, dickhead.
Tour.
So, damn, you just ruined my night.
Tim or me?
Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Dickhead. Fuck. Now I don't remember. NFL officiating.
It has been pretty damn shitty this year, to be honest with you. Like, really bad. Which is so weird. What's up, Dean? Thanks to sneak in. What's up, Dean?
You're late.
You're late. You already missed everything, bro. Honestly, man, I don't really have much from the weekend. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of football. I spent the time with the wife and kids. I probably have to say the Yankees fan trying to rip that ball out of his hand last night. That was wild, dude. Wild, 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 wild. Dean, I like it, baby. I'll take a walk off. I'll take a win. A W is a W in my book. W is a W, baby.
That's true.
Yeah, I would probably say that honestly, that was some crazy stuff you don't see nowadays. And the balls that dude had to just grab his glove and literally try to rip the damn ball.
Right.
And
like the Yankees have like outside of New York, they're good fans. Damn it, Dean. I took so much time off to be on this show. And I was gonna go look, and now somebody's gonna it's gonna be Tim. And Tim's gonna say something. It's gonna ruin my night. But yeah, I mean, like I have friends and family that are Yankees fans, and they're good people, but like, oh shit, the Yankees in New York, their fans are just pitiful.
There's your score. 7. Top of
I'm
the
not
7.
surprised. I think we'll blow it. I think we'll blow it.
Just
so it's 24-0 for teams that start out 3-0. I'm telling you, they're gonna blow it, and then the manager's gonna get fired, and then they're gonna start from ground scratch.
You gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
That's so yeah, that might be. It's 5-6. I got him already, Dean. Unless you have an updated score, I'm only looking off what Google told me.
Yeah, they're gonna blow it.
That was mine. Pretty good weekend for me, man. I really didn't.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean, Chris brought up a good point about. I think he had a good comment too. There you go.
What game was that?
One of them was in the end zone, right?
Yeah, what game was that?
Oh God.
The Vikings Rams, right?
I think so. Yeah, because it was right at the end. The Rams.
It wouldn't have mattered. I don't think.
You still got to call those. That was a safety.
I know, but
especially in the NFL, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
You're supposed to be the best of the best. You save the mistakes for the college and the high school ranks because you're supposed to be the best at it. But to miss blatant calls like that, man, I mean, hell, I might have to switch mine to Vandy Chris's as well because that is some crazy stuff, man. Blatant face masks are just blow my mind that they never get called. Or that certain plays aren't reviewable. Like, I think that one wasn't reviewable either, even though it was a scoring play, which I thought was weird. But I don't know. I'm not the expert, yo. So, man, fun show again, dude. I'm glad you got your power back.
Oh, yeah. And then next week we got Elvis is coming to town.
Yeah, man. So everybody make sure to tune in next week.
It's a short week, too.
One, the only. Hawkeye Elvis is going to be joining us. Don't know if he's going to be in costume, but I may try to get him in the costume. We'll see. Maybe Brandon will. He joins us as we preview UCLA next week right here on the Villains Network, brought to you by Hawkeye Heaven. Yeah, everybody, it's been fun again. Big game this weekend, blackout. I'm excited. Curious to see what these uniforms look like. What's your take on them? Do you think they're going to be something we've seen before, or
I think, yeah, I bet they'll be. I'm hoping 2017 Ohio State, something like that, or was that gray?
oh no? Yeah, get on that, man, dude. Get on him,
Yeah, man, come on. Was it?
Dean?
I did like 2015 against Minnesota. Do you remember that? It was like a really high scoring game. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was 40-35. I was at that, baby.
Oh, so was I. That's crazy.
Did you go to the wrestling meet in the morning?
No, I did not. I was in the student section. I just snuck into the student section at 25 years old.
My man. Hopefully you had no hair then too.
That was when I went downhill. So
Those would be
yeah, I could see that.
Those will be lit. Yeah, Tim was with me. We had a good old long day of Fireball and copious amounts of beer. Surprised we were able to walk. And then we were on the Big Ten Network on TV afterwards, standing in the front row bullshitting. Good times.
Hey, I got an announcement real quick. So an unnamed source claims that Marco Linus has a broken thumb.
What?
I don't know if I believe that or not, but let me look.
So what you're saying, potentially breaking news, the backup quarterback is out, which means we'll have
Possibly,
a walk-on?
yes. I would have to do more research and actually like post it on our page.
You'll have to figure that out because that's interesting. That would leave a walk-on quarterback as backup since they moved James Rizar to wide receiver and he got hurt, which I'm 50-50 on that move. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Right.
The kid is fast, dude. When I say he's fast, if you qualify for the 100-meter dash in the state of Florida, you're fast, dude.
That's facts.
Like, fast. And he's got good size. He's 6'4", about 200 and I would say probably 215, maybe 220 right now as a true freshman. I guess I'm torn. I mean, I think it's probably a smart move. Yeah, he's fast, dude. And got to see a lot and heard a lot from coaches in the Jacksonville area about the kid. And they were kind of shocked that he went to Iowa, to be honest with you, because his dual threat as a quarterback ability, because he can throw the ball too. But I guess we'll have another Marvin McNutt, baby. But if that dude lives up to the speed, dude, I think that's the best move for him.
I hope so.
Hell yeah, man. Dean heard the same thing. Ooh, God, that's scary. So you got Brandon Sullivan and a walk-on as your quarterbacks.
Is that the dude from Colorado State?
No, because I don't think he was a walk-on, or was he?
He transferred, but I can't remember if he was. Even if you transfer, can't you still be a walk-on?
Yeah, I guess if they offer you that preferred walk-on.
Yeah, I figured.
So not a bad, I guess not a bad, but it's not the dream that we want. So
no.
And then you see who third string quarterback is?
I
think it's Washington, the wide receiver.
Was he? That sounds like a
He was QB in high school.
Florida.
Terrell.
Is he from Florida too? Texas.
Washington is from. Now I'm gonna have to
St.
look.
Louis.
I mean, you sprung this on me, man. I wasn't prepared.
That's all right.
But that's some, interesting news. I hope you're
ask
wrong.
a bunch of questions because I don't know the answers because I didn't have internet for hours.
There it is. He's that transfer walk-on. So not a bad. I guess he won't be a bad, but I don't think he is going to be what we need. Terrell Washington, yeah, he's from the one from Texas. Terrell Washington Jr. He will be your third string quarterback if the reports are true. Sully, you got to stay upright, bro. Please. Season hinges on that, baby. Well, yeah. Once you'll have to try to break that news on the page. So be watching our page. Be watching Hawkeye Heaven's page.
Yep.
We'll maybe get some confirmation. But Brandon, what do you say we wrap this bad boy up, man?
Good. It's bedtime.
It's bedtime. All right, Hawk fans. Thanks for tuning in again.
Yep.
We appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you like what you see, give us a like, share, follow, tell your friends. We're just two dudes that like to talk football, baby. So till next week, Brandon. You going to the game Saturday?
Of course I am.
Where are you going to
I'll be there. What's that?
Where are you going to be?
338, so I'm going to be in the north end zone, upper deck.
Where are you going to be tailgating, bro?
Oh, 120 Gulfview Drive.
Yeah, buddy. Hawks to go, baby.
Hawks to go. I'll be there. I think they're going to start at noon this week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's noon.
It's time to get $10,000 for the kids.
Yep. All proceeds go to the kids, man. Shots for the kids.
Shots for the kids. Stop on out. Say hi to Brandon.
Yep.
Hawkeye Elvis will probably be there too, so you can say him. Brandon's going to catch up with him, make sure we're all square for next week. But, dude, have fun at the game again.
I will. It's my last one.
Well, you be blessed and have a good old time, my friend.
I'll do my best.
All right. Until then, Hawk fans, we'll see you next week. Go Hawks, baby.
Go Hawks.
I double down, exercise, you know where to be found. We're coming up, you're going through.